Good evening, everyone. Welcome this evening. I'm just on a little bit early so you can get yourself settled and know that you have the right channel here to be able to watch this evening. I'm going to do charcoal creating, or we're going to do charcoal creating together. Excuse me. Yes, there we go. I'm just going to reach for my water here. I wanted to just come on soon enough. I'm going to grab a couple more things to work with, and then we'll begin. All right. So tonight, I was going to possibly do a horse. I was possibly going to do just feet walking through Northern Europe because I have some really cool shots. Don't ask me why. I just took pictures of feet last year, or legs and shoes, without people attached to them. Certainly, it's a different day, and I long for the times when I was able to see all those people. This is possibly what we're going to do. I'm just printing it in black and white right now. Just a beautiful cow. See if I can get the camera to focus a little tighter. When I usually when I create an image like this out of charcoal, I start with a reference photo. These are Karen Rummelstick reference photos. This particular one, normally I take my own, but since I was going to do a high-heeled shoe, unless I hear from you in the next couple minutes, I'll stay with my focus here of, there we go, of painting the shoe, the cow. It'll be fun. I've done cows before, as you know, and I've done a lot of horses. This is the horse I was looking at doing. Again, one of Karen's shots. And this is the one I really wanted to do tonight, and that's what the format is. Truly, that's what I wanted to do this evening. So let me know in the next couple of minutes whether you want the walking legs, the cow, and I've done a lot of horses, so I don't think we need to do the horse. But there you go, walking legs on the street. There's a lot of graphic lines here and different textures for the charcoal or the warm, friendly cow who isn't quite sure what we're doing with them tonight. Yeah, so let me know. I'll look at the feed just before I jump in here. It's 5:58, but I will take a minute just to get a kneadable eraser and some gesso close to me, and then we'll begin this evening. I may create a little longer than an hour tonight. Don't feel any need to stay on more than 5 minutes, but if you want to, I may create a little longer this evening, just because the nature of the medium does require some time, and it's really a contemplative type of practice. So I'm going to get my gloves on, and we'll be right back at it. Okay, we're going to be a minute longer as it appears my printer is not printing in black and white for some reason. Isn't that odd, right? Normally we can't get things printing in color. Tonight, I can't get it printing in black and white. But we'll just do it a different way. It'll just take me another minute. And I'm hunting down my Kneadable Eraser, which I normally have gobs of Kneadable Eraser, but for some reason, that's because I didn't look in the container. Now I have it. All right, so you may want to grab your Kneadable Eraser. You may want to also pick up a Stumpy if you want to use a Stumpy. We're going to use paintbrushes this evening with charcoal powder, and we're also going to use, that's just charcoal powder there, and we are also going to use regular charcoal sticks. This is willow charcoal, and I really love willow charcoal. There you go. So that's what we're going to use. Just grab my gloves and we'll be off to the races. Oh, I also had out. Oh, let me show you what the Kneadable Eraser looks like as well, because you can get different kinds. This is Kneadable Eraser. You can never go wrong with Kneadable Eraser. You will see as we create. I also did a piece in advance of this evening, so you could see some of the options, maybe, because I want to spend a lot of time mostly on this piece tonight, but then I'll show you what you can do possibly maybe after I go off air, so to speak, and you can see what you can do with a piece once you've really got the image developing on it. Sometimes I like to just glaze them and fix them. Even this evening I may have to jump outside and spray fixative on this piece. Let me show you what that looks like. For this process, you want to use a workable fixative. Okay? For those of you who don't have that, you'll need that if you want to use this, do this type of rendering. I'll be right back. Okay, just grabbing that black and white. All right, let's see if we heard from anyone about whether you would prefer the cow. Hello, Brittany, good to see you. Whether you would prefer the cow. There's no one who has expressed an interest over cow over walking feet, so I guess I'll decide. I'm thinking we'll do the cow. Yeah, that's really There's different ways to do these techniques, so I want to show you, some of your options tonight, but I will do more of a sustained drawing of this cow. As you could see, probably from the image that I'm working from, it hasn't been ideally placed within the grid system. But once again, we're going to use just a rough grid. You don't have to measure it exactly. It just needs to be close enough to, have a believable drawing. And again, I'm using gloves. You can choose to do this with your hands. I have friends who do charcoal with their hands only. It's a wonderful medium. I just find it tad messy. Also, I'm going to I had a cloth out, let me grab it, because I'm going to put it underneath my easel, and you'll understand why as I start drawing. I just put an old sheet underneath the easel so that I can catch the drops of powder as they fall. And also, if you're doing a sustained drawing, I often wear a mask keep the charcoal out of my lungs, but I'm not really getting too close and it's quite heavy. This is gesso. Again, someone was asking me earlier what this does. It seals, these are prefab, if you like, gesso canvases. But what the gesso does is it seals, or not seals, but it creates a barrier, just like it does when you're priming your walls. Same idea. All right, so here we go. Let's begin. I hope you're all having a great week. Do let me know how you're doing, please. It's always, I care very much. I had a colleague I've worked with a couple of times, very special man, passed away on Sunday morning with COVID. It's not to be trifled with, that's for sure. Extraordinary man, a bishop actually in Canada here, and just a lovely, lovely soul. And a friend of mine, another friend of mine, her mom passed away this week. Well, actually, two friends of mine. My mom's passed away this week. Okay, so I'm just visually creating a very light line. If I can get my charcoal. Oh, that's not so light, is it? And I'll create a couple more just so I have a reference line. And yes, I do use reference lines. Some people, maybe you don't. You could draw these ahead of time so that you're not drawing on a horizontal like this. It just doesn't make for as much interest when you're doing the video if I have it all done nice and straight. We're on a slight angle here. There we go. So I have an idea. Remember, I have a drawing that I've put a grid on. I could just fold the paper, and I have done that. I just walk into an event, and I have one of my reference photos that I use, and I just fold the paper to match my canvas. So I have an idea where to start drawing. And then I dip my paintbrush and I begin. It's a big concern that this paintbrush isn't long enough. Well, let's just give it a rough. I can see from my drawing I'm going to draw some rough lines. This is the beauty of, you have whatever you're drawing from. It's just the beauty of powder. Yes, isn't that lovely? Powdered pigments. I'm thinking I should probably do a whole class on charcoal. My favorite. I believe it's my favorite medium. It's a very forgiving medium. There. So since it's such a forgiving medium, I'm thinking maybe, possibly, my grid system is off on this piece because it doesn't seem accurate. So you know what I'm going to do? I'll show you right away. I'm going to change. We're not going to change the piece we're working on, but I am going to change what I put down here. And this is my Kneadable Eraser. Just quickly pulling back some of these lines. I'm just going to freestyle it here. There we go. Nothing like jumping right in. Even though I have grid lines, I won't be using them. It would appear that something's not proportioned properly. Yes, I am just drawing. Rough idea where our wee cow is going to sit on the page. And I'm just literally dipping, should show you this, I'm just dipping my paintbrush into the powder and I'm drawing with it. So rather than just using a charcoal stick, I am using charcoal powder on a paintbrush. Here, cow's nose. Just feeling as I go. When I paint, this is like painting live for me. Could be a terrible disaster. or it could be fantastic. But we'll correct it as we go. Start to see how cow would emerge here. And that's all I want you to do is take, if you have a piece of charcoal, a stick of charcoal, do the same thing. Putting in blocking in a little bit of grayscale as I'm really just blocking in shapes using my paintbrush. I can also leave some gray behind, but I can remove some of these lines if they're in the way. Visually for me, I can move them with my Kneadable Eraser. I can just remove them with my paintbrush. Eyes are similar on, we still have similar lines. If you like construction lines, anatomical lines on cow, just, their eyes align as well, right? Nice triangle here. It's not a horse, so we have to be mindful of the legs. I want to be able to, you'll see this charcoal is just dropping down, and that's why I have the cloth down below. Okay. So how have you been this week? Was this a good week for you? How have you managed this next lockdown? Certainly growing in my concern for the well-being of folks, and I may jump on a little bit more, just so you have a companion, if you like, even if it is just me checking the messages as you check into the feed. Let me know where you're from tonight. This is your barrier-free creating moment. Hopefully every week as we go, there's some element of this process that helps you learn one more trick or skill. And correct as you go. You have behind here is where the cow's ridge line, if you like, is sitting. A little bit lower than that. Quite a straight back. A little lift over here. I think I have this forehead too low. There we go. You can start to see him emerging, right? Oh, you're very, very good looking cow. Oh, you're looking mighty fine. Just using the Kneadable Eraser to take a bit of those construction lines out. And start putting in shadows, if you like, with your paintbrush. I'm also going to put his friend back here. This makes him a really interesting composition. Hello, Mr. Cow, how are you doing? Well, might be Mrs. Cow, right? You're only the friend in the field that we're in. And then we need friends who are outstanding in their fields. There we go. More like that. See how forgiving this is? It's so much fun to work with. When you add the gesso, then it's like there's some shadow there on the ground. I really like working with butter. Again, gesso. You can use water, and I'll try and show you that later on another piece that I'm working on. But I also started today for us. What do you think? Are you starting to see it? I know there's a couple of you, you're probably drawing furiously. Don't worry, I'm not going to run ahead on you. I'm just moving quite slowly. So I just had a message I was checking because I thought it might be one of you folks. And it wasn't. It's just someone else on Messenger. Some note asking me another question. So I'll get back to them later. For now, how are you enjoying our carol? Someone suggested I painted. I go for a bunny, and that would have been wonderful. There's our eyeball there. That would have been wonderful. I didn't have any bunny photos. Well, actually, we used to have bunnies on my farm, so I should have bunny photos handy, but I couldn't just capture them that fast. So we had to go with something else tonight. You could do a bunny. You're great. Just great. And now we're going to establish some of the grayscale by using the powder again. Really putting it in, roughing in the shapes. And we'll have a little bit higher ear shape here. Color. Cross-hatching of just the powder and the fur here. Everyone has a mouth, not unlike drawing humans, slightly different. As you can see, just dipping my paintbrush into my charcoal powder. You can buy this at Curry's, probably, I'm not sure about Michael's, Hobby Lobby if you're in the US. Or you can get it at Sayers. Certainly you could probably just get it online anywhere, actually, if you just went online shopping a bit and looked for charcoal powder. You having fun yet? Nice swirly tight curls here on this one. I'm going to lower that forehead again, or that top of the skull there again. Take a sharper angle up here. Okay. Now I'm going to take my charcoal and powder, put it down. I'm going to switch to my Kneadable Eraser as a drawing tool. Okay, so I'm going to take this Kneadable Eraser, just like this. I showed it to you. I'm warming it up in my hand, but I'll show you this one right here. So you know you can get, it makes squeaky sounds. You can hear it. It's very noisy. Sorry, gang. But there you go. That's a Kneadable Eraser. I'm just warming it up in my hand. Actually, I'm going to take my glove off for this. So I'm just warming it in my hand. It's kneadable, but meaning it can be shaped. Right? So I can get rid of some of my construction lines here. If you put them in light enough, they will barely show up when you go to take them out. Right? They just disappear, and that one's a bit strong up there. So I'll have to deal with that. You can begin to, let's see, before I get rid of all of this, before the powder becomes permanent, I want to get rid of these construction lines, because I like to keep some of the powder that has dusted. surface of the canvas. Now, you can draw on paper. Absolutely beautiful piece of paper for your charcoal drawings, your pastel drawings. I simply really enjoy charcoal on canvas because, well, I just love the feel of it actually. I would start to do a drawing on a canvas as I was working live. And in the end, I ended up just creating with charcoal, adding gesso, and really doing some beautiful black and white images. Some of you have seen those, or you've been part of working on them. Look at that. See how beautiful that is? Just watch how this Kneadable Eraser can be shaped into any shape. There's also some really wonderful erasers out now, some sharp-edged erasers. I have not had occasion. I'm going to just take my charcoal stick now and also change where I'm going to go in and, if you like, correct some of my angles I see that need to be corrected. Go a bit darker with my charcoal stick. That looks like a funny little nose, but we'll see how it shapes up as we go. I love working with charcoal, just love it. And the sticks themselves, they create, beautiful. They're beautiful on paper. They're also beautiful on canvas. Just putting in shapes, if you like. This is why I squint a lot. Just putting in, blocking in the colors I see, leaving some of those white highlights. Oops, dropped my piece of charcoal. It's okay. I'm going back to my paintbrush now. So yeah, I'd love to see what you're working on. Feel free to PM me or to tag me as you're going. Just love to see what it is you're creating these days in your studio. I know one of my friends who was on here one week. I met her at Costco, and she was feeling pretty disheartened. And she's painting up a storm now, just right back at it. Something shifted for her, and she's got some great freedom now in how she's creating what she's creating. So yes, I've used my charcoal stick, and now I'm going back in with my paintbrush. There, it's too low down here, so I'll just go with my eraser again. I can reposition where that nose cavity is. I don't want to take off too much at any one time, or move things too fast. This is an intuitive exercise, if you like. This is not exact drawing. I'm not drawing mathematically, if you like, to a particular grid now. I'm just letting the painting emerge on its own. Or not on its own, but with some skill, but correcting my mistakes as I go. Do you feel the need to create perfectly when you create a piece, or are you okay with it needing some mid-course correction? I don't know about you, but I think, well, I know life needs a lot of mid-course correction. Try and show you what happens with this. I don't know if you can see that. Nice little. I'll try and make the eraser longer so you can see I'm just tucking under his chin. Or her chin. I don't know which gender this cow is. Lots of double chins there, so to speak. I can feel the shape. You can just create the shape with your eraser. You and follow the lines. Again, using my eraser. Use the charcoal pencil, which I am just blending, if you like, with my, not even with any particular accuracy. I just want to blend it so that when I use the eraser as a drawing tool, I have a basis upon which to if you like, on which to just use a pullback technique, I would call it. If you grind in too hard, then it doesn't lift off easily. I still see this need to create here. See the personality of animals for sure when you're looking in there. This his color goes every single direction, so I thought it'd be kind of fun. If this was paper, it would be much easier to use the charcoal to just get a sense of. Charcoal's great on paper. While we're using it on canvas, it's a little different. So, which is your favorite farm animal? Ducks, chickens, cows? I have a friend who got a couple of geese. Or, yeah, a couple of big goose characters. So they'll be out of their pen shortly, and hopefully I can get over there and take a photograph or two. Yes, there we go. We're starting to use this tool now to sculpt out our cow. Starting to become more believable. It only has to be believable to you, but it does have to be believable. There's a little snarl on that cow's. I have this right. We'll get there. Okay, I'll put the charcoal down again. The Kneadable Eraser also does clean your hand. So as much as I love to use my gloves and keep my hands clean, you do need a warm eraser to be able to use it as a drawing tool. Oh, I better watch the time, 6:30. All right. This is something you would want to use a catching tablecloth or something underneath if you're working in your kitchen, dining room, bedroom. I'm in my basement on my concrete studio floor, so it's a little easier for me to clean up than it will be for you. Drawing with my paintbrush. Yes, you too can do this. And here's the thing, when you're using a reference photo, just saying, you actually have to look at the photo. In a lot of art classes where people just are drawing away and they haven't looked at their photograph for 5 minutes. Better you should look at your photograph for 5 minutes and draw for 1 minute or 30 seconds or 10 seconds and then go back to your reference photo. If I were to show you this reference photo at this point in time, you'd say, Patty, you're totally missed in this area. It's easy to see where someone else has missed something. It's not as easy to recognize it yourself. True of life in general, I'm sure. Right, you see my cow emerging. Yes, I see the cow. I see the cow. This is just a lot of fun. For sure, this is a lot of fun. All right, now I'm just using the eraser to put the shapes in, which allow for this fuss and muss hair. Again, not drawing an outline. I'm trying to detail some depth, if you like. It's hard to see possibly, but the negative space. Hair is best. I love negative space hair versus literal hair. It's patterns that you're drawing, as opposed to, you might be drawing a particular highlight, but you're really drawing patterns. I really did make a very dark line there when we first started this. I'm just trying to take my Kneadable Eraser, shape it, makes a nice edge to it. I started mentioning you can get these, I don't know if they're called laser erasers, but super fine erasers. I haven't bought one yet. I'm going to. But as you can see, I have a bit of a problem. I have a lot of art supplies. I like to have whatever it is I feel like using because I'm a generalist. I can create or curate really for people. And often I may not even be the best person to create a particular piece, but people, they become loyal. Folks become loyal to who you are as a person, right? And while we're talking about that, how do you feel? I'm not sure. I've written a blog. I haven't finished it yet, but I want to talk about stewarding the visual voice of your home, your collection, if you like, what it is you have on the walls, even if you're buying them from the department store. Images, just really whether you bought original work or you have images that have owned over time that are favorite pieces. I've shared this before online, but I'm going to share it again. I used to be a custom framer in Whitby, Ontario. And when I was working one day, this person came in, lovely person, came in to get something framed. Fantastic. I was thrilled, of course, because I enjoy it when people have saved something over many years. And this person brought out the file folder and they had saved an advertisement from a magazine in a file folder for about 10 years. He brought it out to frame it. Now, this was back, way, not quite when dinosaurs roamed the earth, but quite a long time ago. So he said to me, well, I'd like to frame this. And I said, okay. So I love matting, really a lot of matting personally on frames. More matte and frame than sometimes in paint in a picture. So in this case, I designed the thing up for them. They loved it and they said, well, how much would that be? And I said, well, it would be $35. I remember the price. And they said, well, but this didn't cost me anything. But you saved it for 10 years. It was beautiful enough that you saved it all this time. Why not invest? You didn't have to pay for the picture, cut it out of the magazine. Why not invest in the framing? Because it really speaks to you. So has that ever happened to you where something really spoke to your heart? Then when you went to frame it or have it hang, you realized it was going to cost you a lot to do it. And I'm saying, well, do it anyway, because you finally found something that really spoke to your heart. Why not invest in it for yourself and for your family, because there was something, it was quite a message of hope this piece of artwork had. I recall it was a rose in a storm scene or something like that. Again, just using the Kneadable Eraser. I may have to do this as part 1 and part 2 to show you. You can tell I'm going to need more time, even with this small piece. Right, so I feel the edge of the ear. I'm going around the ear because I can see there's fur that kind of goes around the edge of the cow's ear. The glowing light from behind. Blurs. Takes up some of this area here. It's all about light. So at any rate, I don't even know how I got on. Oh, stewarding the visual voice. So whether the visual voice costs you nothing, you haven't invested in original artwork, you haven't been able to, or you don't even want to. You've found beautiful images that speak to your heart and encourage you. I want to encourage you, whether you're starting an art collection, you have one already, again, whether you've paid a lot for them or not, but that you steward the visual voice of your home and you steward the visual voice of your office, because when you're not there, those walls are still speaking. They speak to your family, they speak to your guests. When you're not there, what is it your walls are saying to the world? Right? They're always up there, they're not going away anywhere. And so why not have them? It's like your home personal space is a billboard for your own heart, right? And your own life. Oh, there we go. We're having some fun now, right? Can you see this, how cow is coming along here? How are you doing with your pieces? If you want, take a picture of what you're working on and fire it up here into the feed. I'm just swishing my Kneadable Eraser around here. Getting my cow. My cow's nose is a little bit long here. Anyone who knows their bovine creatures will know that I have made this cow's nose too long. Beauty of Kneadable Erasers on canvas. I can just pick that up. Right? I can just pick that up. Oh, so much fun. How about that, right? Is that not just the most fun you've had all week? Honestly. Okay, maybe that's why I'm drawing. So, just so you do know, yes, I do scribe and release life-giving images. I have friends who do the same though, so I can create for you, or I can curate for you what it is you're looking for the help you try to define it, the message you're looking for your home. And yes, that's what I do for a living, so it's fun. Those of you who are watching tonight, and if you are enjoying this, please share it with your friends. It's always, these 1 hour sessions are always free, or if I'm just creating live. Some of you have already donated to keep this going. I sincerely appreciate it. Please don't feel any pressure to donate. The link is there if you so desire. Okay, so again, I just take my Kneadable Eraser, I put it into the shape I need. And I start working my drawing. Needs to be higher up here. So the charcoal is really forgiving. Maybe that's why I love it so much, because sometimes I get emotional when I'm drawing and I just start messing around. It's like when I was saying, you don't always look at the drawing when we're doing it. I'm insane. But I can build it back with charcoal. I can just take my time, and then slowly I start seeing, in this case, this beautiful bovine creature. Yes, lovely little soul. Oh, what a sweetie. And then what I do, it's 6:40, so I think I'm going to have to do this in 2 sessions. Because what I'll do is when I have the drawing tight enough, And I'm going to clean it up, but I'm going to spray it with my Workable Fixative. Right? So I'm going to show you that again, in case you just came on. Do get some workable fixative, not permanent fixative, okay? You want a workable fixative. Yes, this cow is starting to be believable. So it does take more than, excuse me, one sitting, if you like. It would take me the better part of a day to finish a piece. Excuse me, and then there's drying time, gesso time. Yeah, but it's starting to come here. So what are you enjoying the most out of tonight's broadcast? Are you a charcoal? Do you render with charcoal? Is that what you like to do? What is your favorite subject matter? And what else would you like to explore while we're doing these workshops? Now that looks high a little bit better. Oh, there's little curls under the ears. Yes, what a little sweetie. Oh, this cow is so cute. Honestly, this cow is just lovely. Okay, you can see if you were looking as close to this canvas as I am, there's still some, if you like, grains of charcoal still sitting on the surface. Now, if I didn't have if I didn't have spray fixative, you might find me using just water in my brush to set this, but it creates a very strong and dark image. So it's almost a different form of doing charcoal work. Maybe I'll spend the next few weeks on charcoal. This is a really inexpensive medium as compared to your regular paints. So if you want to pick up some more gesso, that might, or pick up some gesso for yourself, that might be a good thing for you to do. So we're going to spend a few weeks on charcoal. Now maybe that means I should do a course instead, but hey, right now we'll just spend a little bit of extra time on charcoal. So at least you get a good sense of how to do this. Sometimes people say, well, you're moving too fast and they can't keep up, right? Or they bounce around from one technique to the other. I just want to give you some exposure to different mediums. But it does make it a bit hard to follow sometimes, right? So slow it down a bit as we're working on these charcoals. There's a lot of light in front of this little bovine character's face here. So now just, if you notice, this is all cow over here, so I'm starting to build those tones in. Just using my charcoal stick. And now I'll use my paintbrush. I can erase light, but if I can preserve it, it is better. Monet said, I see the light and I paint around it. Right? So there's some very good technical teaching there. I see the light and I paint around it. Why put light in if you can preserve light? Of course, I love that as a metaphor of life because I would say I see the light and I create around him. You may have a different perspective. We all love light. And the more we can preserve it, find it, source it in our lives and in our drawings, the stronger the drawings are. almost the same as life. The stronger life is, you can preserve or find light and capture it. Sometimes you can just brush your paintbrush off as well, and it will also give you the ability to lift off some of the charcoal. Play with your paint, like literally play. Take some time to play. Now, folks, I don't know about you, but maybe you have a local art gallery you could be supporting right now. I mean, I love it that you support me. That's awesome. Way to go. Thank you. There may be some other art galleries in your world that you could support. In my area, we have done a lot of great work with Station Gallery, and they're in a fundraising campaign now for their anniversary. Gift of Art in Newcastle. Newcastle's a Gift of Art. All of these places rely on donations, and I just really encourage you, if you're able, to make a difference in their bottom line so that they can make it through this season. It's a very tough road for sure, right? Oh, interesting. An interesting time. Oh, I'm starting to really enjoy this cow. Are you enjoying this? I know I keep talking to you as if you're going to respond. I do want to see what they're drawing. Oh, I do. All right, so I'm starting to, this is getting to be nice here. To see there's no really definite sharp lines. We have charcoal on the canvas, and we are using our drawing tool is this Kneadable Eraser. Right? How crazy cool is that? A Kneadable Eraser is our drawing tool. We have cow over here. This is cow's friend. All right, so yes, because here's the deal. If you're going to have a cow, let's make it a beautiful one. If we're going to have a cow, we might as well learn how to draw them and paint them, because these are very interesting days. Why not? Why not learn how to draw a cow? I will, as I'm able, actually, it's not me, my daughter Abby. She will post these onto YouTube so that you can learn something. Not learn. So you might already be a very well-heeled artist. I'm hoping that there might be something you can learn from the process I use, and maybe you have something going on that I can learn from you as we go through these many months together. So I'm going to continue to lighten this, lighten some of the areas here in the face, but I'm really enjoying this drawing. I don't know. It's really working for me. It's not perfect yet, so, well, never will be perfect, but there is enough that still needs to be done that I don't want to spray it with fixative yet. So I may take a short break at 6 o'clock and continue on with this. Just see where it takes me in the next hour. You're welcome to stay on. I'll be back. I'll be back next Wednesday. Let me know if you're checking out, because you might be just a little bit longer on that side. The other one's kind of curling around. So. Oh, just love cows. It's funny, I just started this thing with cows because they're so expressive. As you know, I have a run on horses as well. We'll have to see whether or not my passion for cows feeds my love of horses. I can't imagine that it does. place for the highlights on top of the head and ear. Have a place where they can land by giving some sense of the background there. Hey, Auntie, I came in a bit late. May I see the image you're working from? Yes, absolutely. So this is Karen Volmistik's photo. Usually I use my own photos, but in this case, I grabbed one of hers because I was going to paint, if you like, some feet, and I probably will, or draw with charcoal, some legs from a trip to Northern Europe, because funny, last year I just took a whack load of photographs of people almost from the waist down or just their legs. Well, I have a beautiful aunt who's an amazing artist out here, or out west. She's on here tonight. Oh, so good to see you all. So yes, sometimes, so I hope that helps, Mona. Let me know if you need to see anything else. That I like to draw. I put construction lines in, sorry, just so you can see them. But then I realized the proportions weren't working for me, so I erased them. And I'm just trying to draw what I see behind the grid lines. I'll have to print one without the grid lines at all so I can continue on here. Yeah, we're just drawing. Oh man, this is wonderful for dogs as well, right? Just super expressive eyes. Really, any animal. People too. I find charcoal is a beautiful expressive medium. It reminds me of watercolor. However, because I am not an expert watercolor painter, I tend to like to remove my whites. I preserve some of them, but I don't use white when I'm painting in watercolors. I preserve white. Right? So in this case, I preserve as much as I can. But these kneadable erasers just allow you to go around the features of your drawing and pull off. Oh, you're welcome. Oh, you're welcome. Allows you to pull back the charcoal. Again, if you don't grind it in, the canvas is very forgiving, right? So there we go. Hey, Auntie, please say hi to Uncle Don for me. You know, some of us were far apart in distance, but not in love, right? Remember what I was saying about Monet for those who've joined us a bit later? Monet said, I see light and I paint around it. Now, I've tried to find that quote. I remember reading it as a young woman, which was many moons ago. I haven't been able to find it. And I tried to go back to find it years later. You know, you see something in a book and it's captured by someone. And years later, you can't find it. But that's okay. It makes sense that Monet would say that, given the nature of his work and how he created. So I see light and I paint around it, or I draw around it. I live around it. I see the light, and I try to walk in the light. So whichever focus. Aren't these kneadable erasers awesome? And again, you can have this for years. You can have it working for you for a lot of years. Oh, look at that. I've done this whole recording without the proper microphone on. How about that? I can't believe I did that. There we go. Oh well, this one I didn't have the proper mic on. So I hope that's okay for you. Nevertheless, have a wonderful evening. Those of you who are jumping off, I'm going to just stretch my bones here and continue a little bit more on this. It's always good. You know, people, they think you can do something and whip it up in no time, and that's fine. Sure, it's believable. But to have a piece that really is part of your visual voice, that's part of your collection of beautiful things. You want it to have that effervescence, that fresh, super fresh feel. You don't want to be tired or overworked. So better we should take our time and create with some measure of accuracy so that we make fewer strokes. Not that we can't do mid-course corrections. I believe in them. I do them. You've seen me do them. Right? But isn't it great if we could? Thanks, Mona. Oh, I hope you try it. It's a wonderful, actually, it's so therapeutic. In fact, the other day I said to my daughters, I feel the need to do something for myself. And my girls know that means you need to go paint something, Mama. Some of you, you have to bake something beautiful. Some of you, you make something beautiful inside another person. You know, you have so much love to give away. Oh, my neighbors gave me a beautiful barbecue this week. Oh my goodness, I am so stoked. Yes, I have to put some gas line servicing in to benefit from that gift. I am so stoked. My goodness, is it ever cool. We are blessed. And I mentioned the food because I have neighbors who cook and they drop off. My daughters eat vegan, so it's awesome. They're beautiful. They eat beautiful food. They make beautiful food. Um, but everyone in my neighborhood knows that sometimes I really, well, I always really enjoy meat. So I get blessed with my neighbors making me food. So if that's what helps you feel like you can conquer the world, oh, go bake something special, right? For those of us who respond in artwork, yes, therapy is very good. For those of us who respond well to a canvas, then yes, by golly, let's go create a piece or just work on something every day. This looks like a bit of a puppy dog through here, but honestly, this cow's furry face is really kind of crazy. What I've done though is I've made the strokes, they're too long for the cow, so what I need to do is go back in and shorten some of these strokes so they don't look like a cocker spaniel or something. They look more like the rhythm and thin flow of the cow's fur. It's the cow patterns on the body here. You'll see them begin to emerge, and here on the face, these are patterns. It's like looking at water. When you're looking at water, at least for me, I'll stare at a river. Blessings and peace to all those of you who are jumping off. I'm going to keep that just a bit, but yeah, when you want to draw water, you look at the river, you watch the patterns that are there, and then you draw the patterns. Right? Same with painting fire. Fur is similar. You can put in some highlights, but it's really seeing the patterns that are on the patterns that the hair makes in this case. And you can mimic just light and dark, but you can mimic, not literally draw what is here, but just try to mimic a pattern or the way the light and dark hits creates contrast, and it will give you a believable animal, believable creature, beautiful creation. Cows are beautiful. So you can understand why I really enjoy working with charcoal now. For those of you who have seen the finished pieces, it's very therapeutic for me. In fact, maybe I'll pause now and come back even later tonight and just pick it up again. With or without you online, I'm not sure. Maybe I'll do a high-speed version so you can see how this emerges. Oh, wee cow is quite happy. All right, blessings and peace, everyone. I'm going to take a wee break. Just pause. Sometimes I should pause. So I'm better, I'm more rested when I'm creating these. Oh. Any other questions that you might have? Thank you for joining me. We will continue this tutorial. You'll just have to watch for when it jumps on. But even if I'm not, even if you don't get to see me finish it, you can always come back and watch the videos, right? You can see them, pick them up when Abby puts them on YouTube or just here in my feed. Thank you, Mona. Take care. Have a wonderful day. Enjoy the balance of your evening. Enjoy this cow too. We're going to have a good relationship, I can tell. You can join me. This cow can join my other cow. We'll have a cow party. There we go. Okay, well, enjoy everyone. Have a wonderful night. Take care. Bye for now. There we go. Well, I'm going to pause for now. Pick this up again. Not sure if I'll pick it up later tonight or just another day this week, but maybe just watch. You can always check and hop on live. If you have any particular styles of artwork you'd like me to touch base on or try to create, please let me know. But we're going to work on charcoal for a few weeks. Getting a sense of patterns here in the fur before I sign off. Beautiful bovine. Always looking for the light. Keeping your eye on the light. With your paintbrush, you can really just follow the patterns on the creatures you're creating. Oh, this is coming nicely, right? Just beautiful. Yes, I'm going a little bit over time tonight. Just enjoying trying to get a sense of the full animal here. The art of edit. I may use my Kneadable Eraser to enjoy the white space here. Without having to fill in too much more in this beautiful animal. Fine art of edit. What do you leave in? What do you take out? Little creature. Yes, I would love to create. If you have some barn animals that you want to have painted, love to do a commission for you if that's something that works for you to capture the beauty of your creatures that you see every day. Maybe it's enough that you get to actually be with them. And for those of us who don't get to be with your animals all the time, we create pictures of them. So it can be done with a paintbrush and charcoal. Very liberating and relaxing form of art. So do enjoy it, try it yourself in your home. I'm going to lighten this ear next right here. I'm just picking rocks in this charcoal and paintbrush, wiping it away. beautiful feathery hairs. Again, of this animal's fur. Go both directions. Provide some wind protection, I expect, from the elements. How relaxing is that? There we got to the gesso part. All we're doing is drawing. Yes, what do you do? Oh, I just play with charcoal. So realistic yet, I don't know, effervescence. That's it has an effervescence to it that is a little bit more joie de vivre and not terribly contrived. It's the sense of feeling of the light and beauty of this wee creature. You've had a long day at work, maybe. You'll have a wonderful evening. I hope you do. Yes, maybe one day you will get to draw with charcoal. Just be able to relax and enjoy the process. And if not, maybe you'll be able to buy a piece of artwork. You'll know what you're buying when you see charcoal and some kind of commitment to so much fun. Remember to see the light, create around it. And I will continue this piece on together and apart from you. We'll see how it turns out. But it's looking good right now. So say a good word about your local leaders and business owners and fellow artists. Would you please keep them encouraged, even if you don't buy their work? Just tell them how beautiful it is. Would you, if you see them creating online, would you do that for us? Just let us know that you've encouraged your heart. It really does keep us all going. Artists, when you think about it, we style hair according to the suggestions of artists often. Buy cars designed by artists. We wear clothes designed by artists. They're a big part of our life, not just visual art, musical arts. Right? All such a huge part of what we enjoy in our lives. So keep them encouraged so they keep creating for you. Would you do that with me? Again, if you have a local gallery that needs your support, I welcome your support here. Please just enjoy you being here with me. There's a link there if you can do anything else. Just know that you're always welcome to come here and view and watch some of these undulating lines on this guy's fur. This coat is beautiful. Patterns in it. Okay, we're going to pause there tonight. Have a great evening. I gave you about an hour and 20 minutes of instruction. Have a great day. And thanks again for joining me here for this bliss break creative spa online.